Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. And remember, take that with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. So, today's puzzle is called Plain Crazy by Zero Nickel. And here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Fill each row, column, and 3x3 box with the digits 1 through 9 once each. Digits in cages cannot repeat within their cage and sum to the total given in the top left corner of the cage. So these two digits must add up to 16. These two digits must add up to 9. These two digits must add up to 15. These four digits must add up to 28. These three digits must add up to 10. These three digits must add up to 9, etc., etc. And we cannot have repeats in the cages. So be aware of that. When I first started doing killer Sudokus, I didn't realize that that was the rule. So I kept on, I don't think it was even explicit in some cases. So I would be constantly trying to figure out all these alternate cage sums, and it was it took a lot longer for me to figure that out. Anyways, yeah, in normal, usually in killer Sudoku rules, killer cage Sudoku rules, you usually have numbers not repeating in cages. There are some exceptions, but usually that is the interpretation now. But it's always good to have that verified. So digits in cages cannot repeat again. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And so this is just a simple killer cage Sudoku, which I've done many of. So this should be fairly simple for me. Hopefully it's easy for you guys too. Anyways, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, two digits adding up to 16. That has to be 7 and 9. Two unique digits adding up to 16. That has to be 7 and 9. Four unique digits adding up to 28. So that could be either one of two things. It could be 4, 7, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 8, 9. So this is 4, 7, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 8, 9. Either way, all four of these see this number. And all of them must be 8 or 9. So this has to be 6 or 7, and this has to be 8 or 9. Since this is 8 or 9, one of the 8 or 9s, we know 28 has to contain an 8 or 9. So one of the 8 or 9 has to be outside. So this has to be 8 or 9 outside. In addition to that, if this is 7, then this is 8. That would mean this is 9, and this would be 8, which is correct. If this is 6 and 9, that means this can't be 9, so this must be 9. Okay, so let's do the possibilities. If this is 7, 8, that means 8 has to be here. This cannot have a 7 anymore, so it has to be, this is 9, this would be 8, so therefore this would have to be 9, right? If this is 7, 8, that means this is 9, which means none of these can be 9, which means the 9 has to be here to validly have a 28 cage, which has 4 digits only. So this would be 8 and 9. There would be no 7, so this would have to be 5 and 6 in that case. If this is 6 and 9, the 9 has to be outside, so this has to be 9, which means this is 7. So this would be 9 and 7. This would be 6 and 9. You cannot have 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 8, 9. So it would have to be 4, 7, 8, 9, but the 7 cannot be here. So this would be 7. And this would be 4 and 8. Right? So if this is 6, 9, right, yeah, the 9 has to be outside. So yeah, that works. So we know The rest of the row cannot contain 9, obviously, because one of these has to be 9. It can't be 8, because 8 has to be one of these 3. Can't be 7, because, again, if this is 7, 8, this would be 9, which would make that 9. This is 8, so obviously 7 can't be here. If this is 6, 9, that's 9, which forces that to be 7, so this can't be 7. And 6 is not allowed anymore, because if this is not 6, this becomes 7, 8, which forces this to be 5, 6, 8, and 9. So this has to be 6. And that 7 means this is a 9, which makes that an 8, which makes that a 9. So this has to be 5, 6. Or this is 6, 9, in which case the 6 is here. So the 6 is always here. We know the 7's one of these two. The 8 has to be one of these 3. And the 9 is one of those two. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These cannot contain 7 and 9. So this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. That's too many. We also have 4 cages here, which add up to 45 plus 4 unique digits. What is the total of this? This is 9, 12, 19, and 10. So 19 plus 9 is 28, plus 10 is 38, plus 12 is 50. So we know these 9 digits add up to 45 because it's 1 through 9. And then you have 4 extras. And then those 4 extras must add up to 5 because it's 50 minus 45, right? So 12, again, 12 plus 9 plus 19 plus 10. So that would be 29, 38, and then 50. So this has to be 1 or 2. This is 1 or 2. This is 1 or 2. This is 1 or 2. This cannot contain a 9. This cannot contain a 9. This could contain a 9. But, so this is 1 through 6. This is 1 through 7. This could contain a 9 or an 8. So we know there's 3 1s and a 2. Actually, it could be... No, because you only have 3 1s at the minimum. Obviously, you can't have 4 1s because that would not add up to 5. But you can't have a 3 either, right? If you have a 3, that would be at most 3 1s with it, or at least 3 1s with it, which would add up to 6. So that's not allowed. So, interesting. What's the minimum that's allowed here? It would have to be 18. Which would be 5, 6, 7 at minimum. Sorry, at maximum. If it's 5, 6, 7, that doesn't work. Where are the 8 and 9s here, right? This can't be 8 and 9. Because then you would have to have 1 and 1. So therefore, this has to be 8 or 9. And this must contain an 8 or a 9. But it cannot have both in 8 and 9 here. Both 8 and 9 doesn't work for the 12. Excuse me. Because that adds up to 17, and this only adds up to 12. Both 8 and 9s cannot be here, because that adds up to 19. And again, 17 plus 2 extra digits, both of which must be unique, must be 1 and 2 at least. So that's 3 plus 17 would be 20. So both 8 and 9 cannot be here either. Therefore, this has to be either... If it's 8, it's 3 and 1. If it's 9, it's 1 or 2. So this is 1, 2, or 3 with that. This is 8 or 9. Okay, let's see. This has to be 4 through 9 because you can have at minimum 4 with 8 and 9 to add to 21. This is 3, 7, 8, 9 is the minimum. So this has to be 3 and not 3 through 9. I think you always have to have a 9 here though. This is 1 through 6 because it's 1, 2, 6 is the most that you can have. This is 1, 2, 6. Okay. Now what else? We know this is 29. This is 16. So these combined together add up to 45. We know all 6 of these are the same. So this one must add up to what these 3 add up to. So this has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. And if it's 9, this could be up to 6. So therefore we know the 8 has to be one of these. So this can't be 8. Right? So these 3 add up to one of these. That's 3 unique digits adding up to another digit, which means it has to be 1, 2, 6. The 6 is the highest digit you can have there. So it's 1, 2, and 6 at most. And if it's 1, 2, 6, then this would be 9, and this would be 3, 4, 5, 8, which does work. Let's see. This can't be 6, because if this is 6, this has to be 1 and 2, and we know 1 and 2 can't be here. So this can't be, this cannot be 6. It's 1 through 5. 8 has to be here. This could be 6, and this is 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's not possible. If this is 6, this has to be 1, 2, 3, but then this has to be 4, 5, 6 with it. So this can't be 6. If this is 7, it could be 7. This 1, 2, 4. The 9 could be here. 1, 2, 6. Yeah, this could be many possibilities. So this could be 7 or 9 specifically. So it could be 1, 2, 6. It could be 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or this could be 1, 2, and 4. Those are all valid. So this is 7 or 9. Okay. So this is 7 or 9, this is 7 or 9. So there cannot be a 7 or 9 in the rest of the box. We also know the 6 has to be here. The 8 is either here, either this is 7, 8, or this is 6, 9, which forces this to be 8. So this can't be 6 or 8 either. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the rest of box 3, right? Because only one of 4 or 5 can be here, right? So that we have, one of these is 8 or 9, one of these is 8 or 9. So this is either 1, 2, 9, or it's 1, 3, 8. So this also has to have 8 or 9. Okay. So if this either has a 4, a 5, or a 6. Okay, so this must contain 1 out of 1, 2, or 3. Right? Because it's 1, 2, 9, 1, 3, 8. 1, 2, 9, or 1, 3, 8. This must contain 1 out of 1, 2, or 3, because anytime you have 3 digits adding up to 9, unique digits adding up to 9, you have to have 2 out of 1, 2, and 3. So this must also contain 1 from 1, 2, or 3. This, does it have to contain 1 from 1, 2, or 3? No, it could be 1, 4, 5. That is possible. This can't be 6 for the same reasoning we had for this, right? If this is 6, this becomes 1 and 2, and therefore that's not allowed. That doesn't have any options then. So this can't be 6. There's nothing here that's similar. There's nothing here that's similar. This could be 1, 4, 5. Okay. If it's 1, 4, 5, that means this has to be 1, 2, and 6. Which means the 7 has to be here. So it's 7 and 8, which would have to be with 1, 3. Right, okay, so if this is not 4 or 5, that means it must contain 1 out of 1, 2, and 3, right? It could be 2, 3, 5. It could be 1, 2, 7, or 2, 1, 7. It could be 1, 3, 6. The only possibility where it's not 4, 5 does not contain 1 of 1, 2, 3. It has to be 4 and 5, which forces this to be 6. So then 7 has to be here, which means it's 7 with 8, which would be 15, which means that these would have to add up to 4. The other two would have to add up to 4, which is 1 and 3, or 2 and 1 and 2. It's because 7 and 9 add up to 16. So, yeah. Otherwise, if this is not 4 or 5, it contains 1 from 1, 2, or 3. Hmm. Huh, okay. What else can we seek from this? Either this is 7, which forces this to be 9, or this is 6, 9. So if this is 7, this is 8, which makes this 9, this 9, this and no, this 9, this 8. So this would have to be 9, which means the 9 would be one of those two. Hmm. Oh, one of these is 1, right? It's either 1, 2, 9 or 1, 3, 8. So this can never be 1 here because they both see all 3 of these cells. So either this is 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5. I guess it could be 1, 2, 6, right? Hmm. So 3 of these outer spokes are 1s, and one of them is a 2. Hmm. You have 1 of 8 or 9 here, 1 of 8 or 9 here. Hmm. We know whatever this digit is has to be this digit, right? So these have to be the same. It cannot be here. It has to be one of these two here also. Oh. Well, there you go. This digit has to be here. Where else can it be in row 3? Can't be here. Can't be here. It has to be one of these two. So it can't be either of these two, which means this has to be an 8. So this has to be 8, which makes this an 8. This is 7, which makes this 9. This is 7. Okay, that was a little too... Wow, I was spending too much time there. Okay, this is now a 9. This has to be, cannot be 4 and 7, so it's 5 and 6. This has to be 5 and 6. So there's no more 5 in box 3. 9 has to be here because there's no other place for it. 8 cannot be here. These can't be 5 anymore. 8 has to, not 8. This cannot be 5. 8 has to be one of these two. This can't be 8. One of these 3 is a 9. One of these, well, we don't know. This is 5, 6, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 7 has to be one of these two. We don't know about this. This cannot be 1, 8 anymore. It cannot be 2, 7. It's either 3, 6 or 4, 5. We're not sure which. Okay. This does not have to contain an 8, right? It could be 5, 6, 7, 9, which adds up to 5, 6, 7 adds up to 18, plus 9 is 27. So this does not have to contain an 8 necessarily. We know this is 9 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 8 is one of those 3, which doesn't help very much. Interesting. Okay. So if this is 1, 2, 7, then that means 1, 2 out of 4, 5, 6 have to be here, right? Only one of these can be 4, 5, or 6. So you have to have at minimum 4, 5, and 8. Which would be 9 plus 8, which does work. So we had this being 1, 4, 5. What if this is not 1, 4, 5? Okay, first, well, hmm. We can remove the oranges because we already know now that's 8. Okay, so 9 has to be one of these two. Interesting. Okay, so if this is 1, 3, 8, If this is 1, 3, 8, that means this can never be 3. So this has to be 2 and 6 with 1, right? So if this is 1, 3, 8, this must be 2, 6, and this must be 1. 3 eight's here. 9 has to be here. So this is 1. This is 1. Oh, hold up. Say this is 1. That means 1 can't be here, and 1 can't be here. So say the 1 is here. That means this can't be 1 and this can't be 1. So 1's either here or it's here, right? Hmm. Okay, say the 1 is one of these, right? If 1 is one of these, that means this is 2. Ah. So say this is 1, right? Say this is 1. Say any of these three cell cages are 1. Include a 1. If this is a 1, that eliminates 1 from being here and here. If 1 is here, that eliminates 1 from being here and here. If 1 is here, that eliminates 1 from being here and here, which eliminates 2 1s on the outer perimeter. But we know we need 3 1s. Therefore, 1 cannot be in any of the outer cells, or at the 3 cell cages, because of that. Because it would eliminate 2 of the ones that we need, and we need 3 of them to be there. So 2 out of the 4 would be eliminated, which would leave only 2 1s left. So therefore, 1 can never be in any of these spots. So 1 has to be in the center 1. And in fact, that eliminates 1 from being here, right? So therefore, this must be the 2, which means the other ones are 1s. This sees 1 here, this sees 1 here, this sees 1 here, and this sees 1 here, which forces this to be the only 1. So these two must add up to 16, because we know this is a 1 and a 2. Therefore, this has to be 7 and 9, because those are the only two digits that add up, that are unique, that add up to 16. So this can't be 7 anymore. This can't be the 9, therefore this must be 3, 8. This eliminates 3 from being here, so this has to be 1, 2, and 6, which means this can't be 2 or 3 or 6, so this is 4 and 5. Therefore, we know this is 179. We know this is 138, so this can't be 8. This can't be 2 here, and this can't be 3. This can't be 2 or 6. 1 cannot be here. So this can't be 5 anymore, and this can't be 1. So this can't be 1, and this can't be 1, which means this has to be 2, 3, and 4 to add up to a digit, because that's the only one that adds up to a digit without a 1. So therefore, we know this is 9. So therefore, this has to be 1, 5, and 6, and 8. And 1 obviously can't be there, so that's fine. These can't be 9 anymore. These two can't be 9. So we know the 9 has to be one of these two, right? Because you have to have, at minimum, 3, 7, 8, and 9. You could try 4, I think it was 5, 6, 7, 9 works. But if you try it without a 9, you try to add 4 unique digits to add up to 27 without a 9, the maximum is 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 5 and 8, that adds up to 13. 6 and 7, which add up to 13. So they combine add up to 26 at maximum, which doesn't work. So therefore, we know the 9 has to be one of those two. So this can no longer be 9. We know one of these two is 9, which eliminates that from being a 9. So therefore, the 21 has to not contain a 9 at all, because the 9 is eliminated here, the 9 is eliminated here. This has to be 6, 7, and 8, because that's the only possibility that adds up to 21 without a 9. So this is 6, 7, or 8, which means this is an 8, because this can't be 8 anymore. So these can't be 8, therefore this is 1, 5, 6, which forces this to be 8. This cannot be 1 or 5. This is 2, 3, or 4. This is 2, 3, or 4. This can't be a 2, obviously. This can't be 2. This can't be 4 or 5, so there's no 4 or 5 here. This is 6, 7, and 8. So the 8 has to be here. There's no 8 here, so therefore this is a 1, 5, 6 triple in box 7, so there cannot be a 1, 5, or a 6 in the rest of the box. Therefore this is 7, 8, which forces this to be 6. So this can no longer be 6 here. This can't be 6 here. This can't be 6 either. This can't be 6, and this can't be 6. This can't be 6, so this can't be 3. This can't be 2. This can't be 1 here. This can't be 1 here. Where's the 1 in row 2? It has to be here. So this is 1. None of these can be 1. We have a 2, 3, 4 triplet in row 3. So this cannot be 2, 3, or 4 either. Can't be 9. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8. Obviously 7 can't be here. 8 can't be here. This can't be 6. This is 4, 5. That's fine. This can no longer be 1, 2, and 6. It could be 2, 3, 4. So it'd be 2 with 3, 4. Or it's 1, 3, 5. And that's allowed. So this cannot be 4. This cannot be 4. So this has to be one of these has to be a 4. This can't be 8 because of a 7, 8 pair down here. So therefore this must be an 8. So this is an 8. The 7 is here, and the 7 is here in rows 3 and 6. So that forms an X-wing, which means none of the rest of the columns can contain a 7. So the 7 has to be one of these 3 in row 6. Let's see, what are we missing here? This is 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. This could be 2 through 6, but it can't be 4 because of this 4 here. One of these two have to be 9, and this one can't be 9. Therefore, this is the 9. Therefore, these two can't be 9 because... What the... Okay. These two can't be 9 because of this 7, 9 pair and this 9. So therefore, this is the 9. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this cannot be 2, 3, and 4. So we know the 1 has to be one of these 3. So it could be 1, 2, 6, or it could be 1, 3, 5. It cannot be 2, 3, 4. So there's no 4 involved. There's a 1 here. This can't be 1, so therefore this has to be 1. This is 1, 5, or 6. We know this has to be either 1, 3, 5 or 2, 3, 4. So either case it contains a 3. Therefore 3 cannot be in the rest of the row. Therefore, this can't be 3. We know it can't be 8. We know it can't be 9. It can't be 4 or 5. So it has to be 7. So this has to be 7 here. So this can't be 7. This can't be 7. Obviously, that can't be 7. None of these two can any longer be 7. So it has to be, well, there's many possibilities. Anyways, 2 and 6 cannot be here. Where is the 2 and 6 have to be in column 6? It has to be here as one of them, and the other one has to be here, which means this is 2 or 6. So this cannot be 9 anymore. This can't be 9 anymore, which forces the 9 to be here, which means this can't be 9, this is 7, which means this can't be 7, this is 9. So this can no longer be 7. Where's the 7 in box 2? It has to be here. So this is 7. This can't be 7. This is 5 or 6. This can't be 3, so this has to be 4. This can't be 3 or 4, so this has to be 5. This can't be 4 or 5, so this must be 1. So this must be 1, 3, and 5 then. So it's 1, 3, and 5, which forces this to be 4, forces that to be 2. This can't be 1 or 5, so this is 6. This can't be 6. This cannot be 1, 3, or 5 here. So this cannot be 1, 3, 5 as a set because that none of them are here. So this has to be 1, 2, and 6. So this has to be 2. And this is 1 and 6. So this is 6 and this is 1. This can no longer be 5 or 6. This is 4, 8. This is 4, 8. So we have a 4, 8, 4, 8 pair in box 9. So the rest of the box cannot contain 4 or 8. This can't be 5 anymore, therefore this is 6, which forces this to be 2. This is 5, so therefore this must be 4 to add up. This can't be 2 or 4, so this must be 3. This can't be 2, 3, or 5, so it must be 6. This can't be 6, so this is 5. Again, this can't be 2 or 4, so this is 3. This can't be 3 or 4, so this is 2. This can't be 2 or 4, so this is 3, which forces that to be 4, which forces that to be 2. No 3 here. This can't be 2, so this must be 4, which makes this 2. This can't be 2, or cannot be 2. So it can't be 2, 4, or 6. That's 3 or 5. So we have a 3, 5, 3, 5 pair in box 6. The rest of the box cannot contain 3 or 5. So this is 2, 4, 6. This cannot be 2 or 4. So this is 3, 5, or 6. We have a 3, 5 triplet, 3, 5, 6 triplet in row 8. So the rest of the row cannot contain 3, 5, or 6. So this can't be 5. So this is 4, which makes that a 5. This can't be 4 or 6 anymore, so this is a 2. I think that's all the 2s now, right? This can't be 2, so this is 6, which makes that a 2. This is 3 or 9. This has to be 4 or 8. This can't be 4, so this must be 8, which makes that a 4. This can't be 8, so this must be 7. This can't be 7, so this must be 8. Move the 9s. This can't be 1, so this has to be 5, which makes this a 1. So this can't be 5. So we know this is a 3, 9, 3, 9 pair. This has to be 7. Since this is 3, 9, and 3, 9, with a 7, that adds up to 19. So therefore, this must add up to 8. So this is 8. This is 4 then. This can't be 4. This can't be 4 in box 6. This can't be 4, so this must be the 4. We have all the 4s now. This can't be 3 or 5, so this must be 6, which means this can't be 6. This is 3 or 5. We have 3, 5, or 7 here. This can't be 5. This can't be 3 because of this 3, so this must be 9, which makes this a 3, which makes this a 9. So this can't be 9. This can't be 3, so this must be the 3, which makes this a 5. This can't be 5, so this is 6, this is 5. Now we're just doing Sudoku. This is 7. This can't be 7. So this is a 6, 8 pair here left. This can't be 6, so this must be 8, which makes this a 6. That 8 makes this an 3, which makes that an 8. This 3 makes this a 5, which makes that a 3. That makes that a 7. This can't be 5, so this is 3, and therefore that's a 5. And that's a solution. Yeah, it took me a little longer, actually. It was very clever, actually, this central part, where basically what had to be a 1 made a big difference, right? Where the 1 had to be. It could not be in any of these three cell cages. It had to be in the 4-cell cage. Anyways, that was pretty fun. I hope you had a fun time too, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.